The gross national debt of the United States has reached a record high of $37 trillion, according to reports from the Treasury Department. This milestone was reached years earlier than anticipated, largely due to increased spending during the pandemic and recent tax and spending legislation. This debt includes both debt held by the public borrowed from investors and intra-governmental debt held in government trust funds like Social Security and Medicare. This rapid increase in the national debt raises concerns among economists and policymakers about its potential impacts on the economy and the well-being of American families. Here's a closer look at the situation, impact on the economy. Higher borrowing costs. Rising national debt can lead to higher interest rates, impacting borrowing costs for individuals, for example, mortgages, car loans, and businesses. Reduced investment. Increased government borrowing can crowd out private investment, as investors may choose to purchase federal debt instead of investing in private enterprises. This can hinder economic growth and job creation. Lower wages and income. Reduced investment and slower economic growth can lead to lower wages and income for Americans. Increased inflation. Unchecked government borrowing could fuel inflation, especially if the government responds by injecting more money into the economy. Decreased flexibility. A large and growing public debt limits the government's ability to borrow easily in response to unforeseen emergencies or economic downturns. Impact on federal budget. Rising interest costs. Interest payments on the national debt are becoming a significant portion of the federal budget. In fiscal year 2024, net interest expense was $879.9 billion, or 13% of all expenditures, according to the Pew Research Center. This was slightly more than the government spent on Medicare or national defense that year, crowding out other priorities. As more funds are allocated to interest payments, less is available for other crucial areas like education, infrastructure, and research and development. Debt-to-GDP ratio. The debt-to-GDP ratio compares the debt to the country's economic output and is often seen as a better indicator of a country's ability to manage its debt. The U.S. debt-to-GDP ratio has surpassed 100%, indicating that the debt is larger than the entire economy. This ratio was 123% at the end of the third quarter of fiscal year 2022. Economists generally consider a ratio exceeding 77% to be a potential drag on economic growth. Historical context. The national debt has fluctuated throughout history, often increasing significantly during times of war or economic crisis, according to Treasury Direct. The pandemic and the legislative responses to it played a major role in the recent surge, notes the Up to Us. Calls for action. The rapid accumulation of debt has prompted calls from economists and organizations for policymakers to address the issue and pursue solutions.